So you're probably wondering why I'm in my bathroom. And it is, hold on, midnight. My scope was done at 9 a.m. yesterday now, and it is now midnight. So I guess I have a little bit of talking to do. I was so scared, so ridiculously scared, and I really don't know why, because in retrospect it's not that big of a deal if you really think about it, but I don't know. So let me just walk you through what happened. They let my boyfriend back for just like the pre-assessment, which is just like asking me questions. They asked me like if I had any like joint replacements, any heart valve replacements, anything like that. They asked me medications that I'm on, any allergies, basic things. They did my blood pressure, heart rate, normal stuff. And then they told him that he had to leave, which really sucked because I didn't want to be alone. But from then, they took me into a room that looked very much like a surgical room, which was very intimidating. I just kind of stood there for a minute and just looked around, and they're like, it's okay. They were dressing the table, and they told me to go into a bathroom, which was in the room, and they told me to get undressed from the waist down, and to put this gown on that covered from the front and was open in the back, and to put these little footies on. So I did that, and I came out, and they had me sit on the table, and they had me get in stirrups, which is a little awkward, but if you're a woman, you're probably used to it. From there, they did like a betadine cleanse, and I talked to her a little bit about my urethra and experiences that I've had with it, with catheters and things. I have been told that I have a small urethra and a narrow urethra. So she was aware of that, and she was starting to put the numbing jelly inside of my urethra. It started going in okay, and then it started coming back out, and she said that's because you have a narrow urethra, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to numb you all the way, which that kind of sucked. She let the numbing jelly sit, and she actually, it was really weird. It was really strange. She dressed me just like you would be like in a surgical room, like you're watching some day of surgery. I'm in the stirrups, and she puts like drapes over my legs and over my belly and like up under my butt and everything, and like the only thing exposed is my girl area. So, I mean, it was sterile, but it was just weird. It was really weird. And she tells me that she's gonna let the numbing jelly sit, and she's going to page the doctor, which is my doctor, so I'm glad it was actually my doctor doing it, not just some random doctor. So she pages him, and she asks if I'm going to be okay in the room alone for a little while, and I, of course, said yeah, but on the inside I'm like, don't fucking leave me alone. Anyways, so I sat there in stirrups for, I don't know, it seemed like an eternity, but it probably wasn't more than like 10 minutes. Eventually the doctor comes in, and he asks me how I am, and of course I say I could be better. He asks if my bladder pain has changed at all. I said no. He said okay, and he got his gown on and everything. And he got the scope, which just, well, I'll insert a picture of what it looks like. It looks kind of intimidating, but, he says we're going to do this very gently, which was true. He was very gentle. When it started to go in, I didn't really feel anything, but then it got to the point to where I could tell where they didn't numb me, and, I definitely announced that I was in pain. I couldn't help it. And he stopped. He waited for me to breathe and everything. And then he continued and everything. And then really the actual insertion part didn't take any longer than a minute. But the camera being inside of your bladder, that's what takes a little bit longer. Once it was inside of my bladder, there was a lot of sensitivity. I wouldn't say it was excruciating or anything like that, but it was definitely not comfortable. I had the sensation to just want to like yank it out because it's something foreign, something that shouldn't be there. But the nurse was very like calming. You know, she had like her hand on me the whole time. She was like, it's okay, just breathe, you know, which I was like holding my breath, like I didn't want to be there. And she turned the little screen around so I could see my bladder, which I knew didn't look like a normal bladder. I could see, you know, that it was very irritated, and he could as well. But it was kind of cool. You could see your bladder. I could see where the ureters connected. That was kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm fascinated by the human body, so. He looked around and everything. That process probably took 2 minutes, maybe. But I mean, it hurt, so. And then taking it out, you take a big deep breath and let it out, and it's out. It just feels like a big cat scratch. But if they're able to numb you more, you might not feel as much pain as I did. I mean, I wasn't screaming, I wasn't crying, but it's definitely uncomfortable. Just expect that if you're going to have this done. Let's see, what happened next? Oh, I didn't even mention this. During the whole scope, they insert fluid, and I guess to extend your bladder, because they have you urinate beforehand. So he extended my bladder a little bit, I guess just so he could look around. And then at one point he said, okay, I'm going to insert a little bit more fluid, and I want you to tell me if it's going to hurt. And he never told me like okay, I'm inserting it now or anything, you know. But it did hurt. I could definitely tell that he was inserting it, and God, I can feel it like right now. I just grabbed my bladder and I was like, ow. He's like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. And he's like, okay, it definitely seems like your bladder can't hold too much liquid. I'm like, well, that's a little strange, because when I'm having my bladder pain, which is like half the day, I can't hold too much liquid. But then the other half of the day, I can hold my bladder for too long, literally too long. Like, I won't get the sensation to go to the bathroom for hours and hours and hours, and I'll have to remind myself, hey, like, you should probably go to the bathroom. Like, this is probably unhealthy. Anyways, he did that, and then he did something else where, like, he moved the scope around in my urethra, and he said, okay, I need you to let me know where you can feel this and where it's sensitive at and everything. And I said, okay, that's very sensitive. I can definitely feel that. I said, I know it's kind of numb, but, like, that really freaking hurts. He's like, okay, I'm done. And that's when he pulled it out. I guess I missed all that. So as soon as he pulled it out, I instantly had the sensation to urinate. And they said, okay, I need you to hold it for just 1 minute. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going to wet the bed. I would have said pants, but I wasn't wearing pants. And they said, we need you to hold it. We need to lower the bed, and you have to urinate in this special area. So she's lowering the bed, and I'm literally going like this. I'm like, oh my God, I have to pee. And like, I have that whole burning sensation, and my bladder's cramping, and I'm just in so much pain. And so they have this like little setup. I mean, no, like, what am I trying to say? No disrespect by this, but it looks like a potty chair for like the elderly that you'd sit in. And then below that is a measuring cup that the urine filters into. And then below that is a weight system. And then it's connected to something else that prints out a whole reading of like how long it took you to urinate since you sat down, how much it weighs. God, I don't even know. Like, it was amazing what it was printing out. But that's what I had to urinate into. And then I got to go get cleaned up. I had to clean all the betadine off myself, which was everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I got to come out of the room, and I sat on the table, not on the table, but on the bed. And I was just holding my bladder, and he's like, "Oh, you're in some pain." I'm like, yeah, I'm in some pain. Like, you just had to scope my bladder, I'm in some pain. And so he talked to me, and he did confirm that I have an interstitial cystitis bladder. I didn't really ask too many questions because I think I was maybe in shock or scared or in pain, or maybe because I'd researched this beforehand. But I mean, I guess maybe I should ask more questions now, because what is an interstitial cystitis bladder? I don't know. Anyways, and then he told me that I have some pelvic wall spasms or tension, which I've been told by my OBGYN before in the past. And he said that physical therapy would help with that, and that would help with some of my symptoms, especially being able to hold liquid in my bladder for a longer period of time. So he gave me 3 options, which was very respectful. 1, meditation. 2, physical therapy. 3, medication, or all 3. The reason why he offered meditation was because for some people, interstitial cystitis can be completely stress-related. And for whatever reason, the bladder just attacks itself when you're stressed, and that's just that. And I was honest with him. I didn't shoot it down right away, but I was honest with him. I said, I know you're the doctor, but I know my body better than anybody else, and I could be having the best day of my life. It could be my birthday, I got new high heels, I got a unicorn in the backyard, I'm shitting rainbows, and I'm having the worst pain ever. So I really don't think meditation would benefit me. Nothing against it all, nothing against you. And he's like, "Oh, no, that's fine. You do know your body better than I do." And I was like, "Okay, great. You're a good doctor. You're listening to me." So what I opted for was physical therapy to help with my pelvic wall, which will be pretty invasive and strange physical therapy. Anyways, and medication. This is the only medication approved by the FDA for interstitial cystitis. It's been around for, I believe he said 30 years. I take it 3 times a day for the rest of my life. And what it does is it helps rebuild the lining of the bladder and thicken it so that I don't feel pain. And that's kind of what I'm left with. As far as how I'm handling it, I don't know. It's been 6+ years of not knowing, and then somebody just like, "This is what you have. This is how you gotta deal with it." When I've been dealing with it on my own and not knowing, and I mean, I'm happy in some ways, but some ways it's just confusing. It's an emotional roller coaster, I guess. I think it's going to take a few days for me to swallow and be like, okay, this is okay. This is fine, As far as like pain after, I had a long drive home from the Cleveland Clinic, and like hours. So he did give me some pain medication for the drive home. That it helped with the pain a little bit, but like I was very irritable and wanted to sleep, and I couldn't sleep in the car. I just couldn't fall asleep for whatever reason, and I was very irritable. Like my boyfriend was like, "You need to calm down," and it just made me really cranky, and I had to stop to pee because my bladder just hurt so bad, and it still hurts. That's why I'm not updating until now, because I pretty much just rested and slept. but it's still hurting. I do have some paperwork that says that I could expect some burning on urination, some blood, you know, if you've ever had a catheter, like things like that. But I haven't really had any of that. I'm having a lot of cramping in my bladder, so I don't know. And it's more intense than it normally is, and I can't get it to go away. But I'm just assuming that's kind of normal. If it's not gone by tomorrow or the next day, I'll probably give them a call. I mean, it's not like I can't live my life. It's not like you can't go back to work the next day, you know. He does want to see me back in 3 months to see how I'm doing on the medication, and of course he'll be my primary doctor for interstitial cystitis, I guess, for the rest of my life. So I guess I'll always see him. I've got to find a physical therapist. I start my medication tomorrow. And that's that. Sorry for the way I look. I've been sleeping in my makeup all day. I had to put a bra on just for this because I've been so uncomfortable sleeping with a heating pad. But I don't want to make this sound like it's the most horrible experience ever. Like, if you think you have IC or you're having bladder problems and they tell you that you need to have a scope done, do it. Okay? Just do it. Get it done with. It'll be fine. I mean, I struggle with anxiety. I went in there not being able to feel my legs. Like, I was so scared. I looked like a ghost. My boyfriend was like, "Are you okay? Like, are you gonna be okay?" I felt like I was gonna pass out. And, I was fine. I did it. If I can do it, you can do it. And it's better than not knowing, because anything can be going on in there. Bladder cancer, anything. So just get it done. It's not the worst thing, really. Especially if they can numb you all the way. Sorry for this super long video, but I'm hoping that it's very informative to you guys, and I'm hoping that it helps somebody out there, or maybe we can relate, or maybe you just don't feel alone, or maybe it'll help you seek help, because I went 6 years without not knowing and just thinking that it was in my head because I saw one doctor that told me it was in my head, and I just lived with that. And now I see that that's not okay. And now I know that I can get out of pain and live a much more normal life. I am going to continue to make videos about my medication and my appointments and how I'm doing and everything, so if you want to follow me, go right ahead. Stay strong.